Hi, morning, Chaya. Thank you so
Hi.
much for doing this, career transformation call with us. We appreciate you taking your time out during. I'm sure you are quite loaded with work right now with work from home with Amazon. But thanks for sparing this half an hour, 45 minutes with us. And your insight will be really appreciated.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So I think let's get into the conversation right away. Let me start off with asking you, a little bit about your pre-MBA experience in terms of work, and if you can shed some light a little bit on your education as well.
Yeah. So, I'm a mechanical engineer from IIT Madras. So I was recruited on campus by Hindustan Unilever. So they recruited me as part of the Unilever Future Leaders Program, or UFLP, in the supply chain role. So as part of this program, for the first 15 months, 15 to 18 months, I worked in different teams within supply chain and did like 6 to 8 week stints where I did small projects and also learned a lot about Unilever's business. Post which I worked as a manufacturing manager in Garden Reach factory, which is in Calcutta. It's a soap factory. So I had like a very interesting experience there for 2 years. It was a huge factory, 600 workmen, a very difficult industrial relations environment. And So that was a great learning experience because I was part of the day-to-day routine work of running the factory, as well as part of some really big expansion projects which were going on in that factory at that time. So that was my work experience pre-MBA, which was around 3 years, and after which I joined INSEAD in the year 2016.
Okay, fine. So I think I guess your Unilever experience must have been a very high leverage in terms of going about your whole application process. And so can you speak a little bit about that in terms of because I'm sure there must have been a lot of students of your profile, kind of your same background from great schools like IIT Madras, but how did you really go about in differentiating your application in terms of highlighting these uh, career highlights that really stood out in your INSEAD as well as other business school applications?
Yeah, so I think what really stood out was the 2 year experience that I had at the factory. So I think one is they value women in ops because there are very few of them around. So I was, I think, the only woman in that factory at that time. So the entire manager uh, was male as well as all the workmen. So I think that was there. It was also, I also had some very interesting experiences which I actually chatted with Admit Square to understand which ones would be relevant for
Right.
INSEAD and which ones would not be. So it was like it was a 100-year-old factory. So in the year I was in, it completed 100 years. So it was extremely old infrastructure. And during those 2 years, we brought about significant changes in the way we worked. There was a lot of people management, especially in negotiating with the union. There were also multiple expansion projects which were going on where we actually really augmented the capacity which the factory had through small changes, small kaizens which we did, and which had actually a huge impact on the overall business of the soap division of HUL. So those were certain things I think which stood out with my application. I also INSEAD also stresses on a lot on international experience, and I had the opportunity to twice in my time had the opportunity to actually gain significant international experience. One was during IIT Madras, where I went for a research internship to USA, and the second was during Unilever itself, where they sent me for like a 8 week long stint to South Africa, where I was working with the factories over there. So I think both these also added value to my application. In fact, a small anecdote: I actually applied to join the um, the batch which was starting 2016 January, and INSEAD said that uh, we really liked your profile, but we think you should gain a little more work experience and then come back to us and join next year. So they actually gave me a deferred admission. So I think all these things kind of helped me in
So you started in
building
the
a profile which INSEAD liked.
so essentially you started in the August term.
Yeah, and they asked me to join after a year, and then I wrote to them saying that can I please join 6 months earlier, and then they agreed to that. So that way, INSEAD is really flexible.
Okay. So that insight is be really helpful to prospective students. So I think you gained a lot of you gained good exposure at Hindustan Lever, and I think it's a great company to be working at. So what was your real? I'm sure you must have seen your a good career path and growth path in Hindustan Unilever as well. But what was your real motivation to kind of pursue an MBA?
Yeah. Like what I understood from my Unilever journey was that you needed to have like a holistic understanding of business overall, to actually grow in the organization. You cannot be just like limited to only knowing about ops and how like a factory is working, and then maybe moving on to the next role and then just understanding what that role is about. So I wanted to get like an overview, and initially my motivation was also to probably change the sector. So I was giving myself a fair chance to go understand what are the other options available and if I could make a career shift. And I was banking on the courses at INSEAD and the peer interaction I would have to kind of make up my mind on where I would want to finally, be working and spending the rest of my life. So
Fair enough.
though that was mainly the motivation to do an MBA. Also, I was very keen to like study outside India because I think a global perspective is what you lack when you are, say, a college from India and then you're working in a completely like India-centric company. So I did want to get that perspective also, and which is why I decided to do an MBA outside of India.
Fair enough. Those I think those are the two primary reasons that everyone, every aspiring MBA student looks at. So I'm going to pick on one of those. You spoke about looking at a career shift post an MBA. So can you shed some light on whether you have been able to get that shift? How has INSEAD helped you? And are you satisfied with that career shift at this point in time?
Okay. So when we join INSEAD, they generally during our orientation sessions tell us that there are some people who come here and who are ready to kind of explore what are new things, what are new places they can work in, new companies, and they come with like a very open mindset. And then there are some who come with a really fixed mindset that okay, at the end of 1 year, this is the company I want to be in, this is the country I want to work in, this is the role I want to work in. So I was the first, like the prior case, where I went with an open mind. I realized I was not too interested in finance, so I took up a lot of courses on marketing and operations. Um, and then over the year, I realized that operations is something which actually really excites me and interests me, and that's where my forte lies, and it's probably where I want to continue working also.
Sure.
I did try and apply to a few marketing roles in various companies which came for campus recruitment at INSEAD. But honestly, I found the shift from a heavily ops background to marketing very difficult. And
That is
so, after speaking to these companies and the recruiters there, most companies advise that if you really want to shift, come start working with us in what your forte lies, and then slowly you can navigate through the company and maneuver through it and find a role which actually is something that you want to shift in. So most companies advise me of that. So probably I'd say INSEAD did not not I would not say did not help me, but it did not I was not able to make like a career shift, one because of my interest and two because of what most companies said. But they did help me make a geography shift because I was able to then get jobs, job offers from London, Singapore, and Thailand. So yes, it did help me in a geography. It did help me in making a geography shift, not so much of a sector shift.
But you ultimately move back to where the heart lies, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, Interesting. I think that's interesting. Then you said I believe you have worked in Thailand, right? I think that was a fairly short stint.
Yeah.
You know, can you shed some light on that as to how it was working outside India, just for because it was essentially your first full-time role. Why you picked Thailand, or why you picked you because you said London, Singapore, etc. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking why you picked
So
Thailand.
yeah, so I got offers from Amazon in London, Apple in Singapore, and actually originally had got an offer from Kraft Heinz in Jakarta in Indonesia. So what there were two things for my choice of the job I picked up. The first was that I knew eventually I'll move back to India. So I wanted to be with a company which had a base in India and which could help me, like, move back in even a short period of time. Secondly, I thought Kraft Heinz was very open. So when they actually offer you a job, they have a really lengthy conversation that what your personal goals are. Do you think you'll be able to stay in this geography for long? So I actually had a very honest conversation with them that in a period of 1 year probably I would want to shift back to India, and they were very open about it, and they said that they'll really help me move back if I continue for a year. Third, the role in Kraft Heinz was super interesting. So they had given me the title of like head of operations for entire ASEAN countries. So I was
Okay.
basically looking after the supply chain of all the imports which take place into the 13, 14 ASEAN nations. And uh, the kind of role that it was, there was an opportunity to bring in a lot of change in a very short span of time. So that was what was really exciting. Also, I think the entire process of interviewing, when you talk to people in the company, you talk to leaders, you interview, you actually get a sense whether you'll be a good fit for the company or not. And and I had very extensive interviews. Like with, I think, Apple, I had 21 interviews in total. With
How
Amazon,
many?
I had 21 for two
Okay.
roles.
Okay.
For Amazon, I had around, I think, six, seven, and
Okay.
for Kraft Heinz, I think I had another 8, 10 interviews. So over that period, you really understand whether you'd enjoy working in the company and enjoy working with those people. So that was the reason. Unfortunately, I was not able to finish the 1 year because I got married and I had to shift back. So that was
Okay.
something which came as a surprise. But overall, I think it was a great experience working there. Um, like I'll just come back to what I was saying. Kraft Heinz, I said, had offered me a role in Jakarta, but unfortunately, for an Indian to get a work visa there, you have 5 years of experience, work experience, and I had only 3, which they didn't realize when they had started interviewing me. So after the job offer came, they realized that there was no way I could get the work visa. So then they worked things around and they decided that I'll work remotely out of Thailand, whereas the entire leadership team sits in Jakarta. So I then spent the next 7, 8 months in Thailand, and a very different working culture from India. Like a funny story, I had 3 reportees in Jakarta and 2 in Thailand. And I think Indians are quite aggressive when it comes to their way of working. They want things done fast and they want to get on calls. So the first day at work, I had a call with all my stakeholders, and they gave me a long to-do list of things to do in the next week itself. And the next day, I just was so eager to do it that I kept calling my team in Thailand that, okay, I want this, I want that. By the end of the day, they stopped picking up my calls. They stopped answering my emails. So I had to actually then fly back to Indonesia to have a conversation with them that, what is their style of working? How do I have to adjust my style to them? And so that we come on to work. So, I think working with different cultures is a great learning experience because what works for you will not work over there. So you really have to kind of mold yourself and, work that way. I
So,
remember, like, even in Thailand, there was a third party I was talking to, and I said, this is very unprofessional. And the entire meeting room went silent. They couldn't believe that I said something like that. Yeah, so it was an interesting experience.
So talking, I think you hit a very good point about interacting with different cultures and just working and meeting with different people around the world. Can you? I mean, I'm aware that I've had a bunch of friends who've gone to INSEAD, and at Oxford also had a similar experience. You meet people from like countries you have probably you've heard of them, but maybe you probably never thought you'll visit also. So how is it interacting with your cohort, and what did what is the learning experience from that? Because I'm sure in your study groups and stuff, you must have had people from all around the world.
Yeah. So that was, I think, my most fun experience at INSEAD. So in our study group, there was me in an Indian, then we had an Italian, we had a Bolivian, we had a Canadian Lebanese student, and then we had an Indian origin person who's actually an American citizen. So it was a very, very different study group, and our age groups are also very different. So two of them were 34, 35, and then three of us were like 25. So there was a huge difference. And um, I think as a study group, we took ourselves really seriously. Like, unlike other study groups, which would be like, okay, one of you do the assignment and submit it, and the rest don't care. But we really took this journey like properly. Like, we had like a discussion at the beginning that what are each of your objectives from the course and how we can work together. And then we would have these frequent sessions where we would give each other feedback that, okay, like, while doing this assignment, this is what I didn't like, this is what I liked. And if two of us were doing the assignment and three of them would review it, so we were all really serious about it, and it was excellent. Uh, it was great. I mean, I think that was the best part of INSEAD for me. Um,
Okay.
there was some interesting feedback even I got. So I was coming from a factory background where I was the boss, right? So you tend to become a little authoritative because everybody is listening to you, be it the workers or be it the executives. So I remember during this one study group session, I was like, no, this is how it is done, and there's no other way. So then they all sat me down and they were like, listen, you could have been the boss there, but you need to start, listening to people, because that's an important skill. And especially when it comes to maths and data analytics and things like that, you think that there is no other way. So they would be like, okay, if you know the answer, great. Why don't you like listen to others? You might get another perspective to your answer. So yeah, so I also like learned a lot through this entire process.
So funny that you talk about it because I have a finance background and I worked in my family business and I still continue to work in my family business. So for me, when I took my first operations class, it was like I never fathomed that a factory could have so many, issues. For me, it was like go to the factory, put the button on, the machine works, and everything just gets produced. So I think for me, the operations class was probably the one that stood out the most. And I think the professor also added a lot of value, no doubt. But I think that was a huge eye opener for me that, factories have real large issues. It's not as easy
Mhm.
as just go in the morning at 7 a.m., put the button on, and then everything is on auto. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I agree that, there's a lot of learning from the study group because we also had a lot of diversity in our study group in terms of background, age, etc., etc. So coming to classes, if you can you point out like one single class that you really enjoyed and what was so memorable about it and why?
Yeah, so there's this very interesting class called YFCD, which is your first 100 days at INSEAD. And it actually happens in P5, which is the last period at INSEAD. And everybody actually saves bit points to, get the necessary class and team members, etc. So we have to nominate one CEO, one CTO, one CFO, one HR manager. So we're a group of five and we all get different roles. And they put us into real life situations. So, you know, uh, they'll send us an email about something which is happening. Then they'll have media coming to you, proper people with a camera, and they'll shoot you like the media is asking you questions. and it's like putting into to really situations which you cannot imagine happening, like riots are happening and some quality issues happen, and you spend like 1-2 weeks with your class learning how to deal with this. So that was an excellent experience, and our group deliberately said that we each of us will take up roles which we are not comfortable with. So like I was very comfortable with ops and I would have loved to do that, but they're like, no, you hate finance, so you're going to be the CFO. So I
Yeah.
remember working late at night, like 2 a.m., trying to build like these profit and loss statements and decide what is happening and struggling with it. And I remember there was the people, like the media, coming to us, and it was a case where I think somebody in the factory had hurt themselves. And the media comes to us and they're like, okay, can you tell us the name of the person who's got hurt? And we're all like looking at each other because we hadn't prepared for it. So it's quite
Correct.
interesting, and it was a great fun experience. And again, our group was also very diverse. So we really enjoyed this class. And I think most people at NCR really enjoy this class, and we'll probably talk about this course if you have a chat with them.
On a lighter note, were you guys given a situation of a pandemic like this by any chance? Or?
Thankfully not. This is the first for I think a lot of us.
I think for everyone who's living today, it's the first.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think we've touched upon a fair amount. Can you? Uh, I know INSEAD has the France and Singapore experience. So can you just shed some light? Where, like, did you do both? Did you do one, and why?
So during the application, I just put any of the campuses is okay, and I got selected in Fontainebleau, which I think was a great idea. So I started there, and I spent 3 periods there. And then I came to Singapore for the last 2 periods because it's always advisable to be in that region where you want to recruit. And like I said, I wanted to be in and around Asia. So I started in Fontainebleau for the first 3 months and then came to Singapore. However, a lot of decisions in Singapore are based on weather. So most people, like I joined in the July batch, so I started around August, and that time the weather is great in Europe. Most
Correct.
people in November, December, when it's really cold, come to Singapore, spend like 2 months there, and then the last 2 periods, everybody remains in the campus where they actually want to, recruit from. You also get, I think, at my time we had got 200 bid points. So these points could be used to basically select your campus and
Okay.
select courses. And a campus's demand also is highly dependent on weather. For example, in November, December, Singapore is very high in demand. So you might have to be spending a lot of bid points to come to Singapore.
Okay.
And your home campus, where you start, is your default campus in all 5 periods. So you don't need to really spend points to be in your home campus in any of the periods.
Okay.
Also, INSEAD has this option where you can go to Abu Dhabi for one of the periods. And they have
Okay.
like they just take 50, 55 students there. They have teachers, specific courses, and they also get an opportunity to work with one, big corporate in like a live project that is going on for those 2 months. So that is also an option for which you have to spend your bit points. I didn't take it, but yes, 50, 60 students did go to Abu Dhabi, especially the ones who wanted to recruit in the Middle East later on.
So I assume that you spent your last few months in Singapore.
Yeah.
So can you shed some light on how you went about your entire prep for looking for a full-time role? Because I believe the July term, the batch that starts in July does not really get a chance to do an internship, right? So can you shed some light on how you um, you know went about looking for your full-time role in terms of preparation?
Yeah, so this is something which I think everybody should know about. Uh, it's not like recruitment in India where 100% of placements will take place on campus, and you will have like a lot of companies coming and recruiting you. You have to heavily rely on your personal networking also. So I started in the August batch, which graduates next year. We did not have an internship, so we were advised that from P3 onwards, you should start networking. So get in touch with alumni from INSEAD. who are in companies that you're probably interested in. Don't just call them up and say that, refer me for this job. First, try and understand like what is the role they were doing, what was their process of networking, how did they go about recruitment. So heavily network in P3 itself, and then from P4, P5, start like applying off campus as well as on campus. So it's a long journey. Like you cannot expect that yes, you'll get through. There are a lot of people who actually find the jobs that they do even 6 months after graduation. And also it's advised to be slightly picky and choosy, because this is something that you should be investing the next 4-5 years in the company at least.
Correct.
So don't like rush into something which you think you will not be happy doing. So take your time. There are also a lot of career treks which are organized. For example, I went to Dublin, where I went to like a number of tech companies, met INSEAD alumni there, understood what kind of roles they do, what kind of roles that are available, understood the work culture, etc. I also did a trek in China just to understand what kind of business there is. So they do organize all this. They have a person who's going to be mentoring you throughout your INSEAD journey about how you have to go about building your LinkedIn profile, your resume, your network. So it's a long journey. And apart from that, yes, there'll definitely be companies which are coming for campus recruitment, and that is similar to what you would have probably gone through in undergrad, where P4 and P5 is heavily for these campus recruitment companies. So there again, they'll have multiple chats with you, networking events, calls, etc., and then you go through the process of interviewing.
Fair enough. So I think that's what all schools, and I think Prashant also stresses a lot on that, kind of the process that you have set out for recruiting. I mean, Prashant and Admits, where all the guys out there have kind of laid out that process as well. So I think we the last two questions, I think these are very no, actually, sorry, one more question before that. You mentioned that you went through about 20 odd interviews in Apple for 2 roles, 6, 7 for Amazon in London, even for Kraft Heinz. So can you elaborate a little more on that interview process? Because I will, knowing the undergrad interview process is generally 3-4 interviews, and then either you're offered the job or not. So how that really, how those conversations really lead you to the full-time role? Because I think those are more of conversations that you have rather than real formal interview this thing. So can you shed some light on that as well?
So it's very different for different companies. So Amazon, I think everybody knows that it's heavily on the leadership principles. So those interviews were asking me for examples from my previous work experience about leadership principles, etc. Apple is what they really want is that every person in their team who would be eventually working with you should interview you and decide whether they would like to work with you. And each interview has a completely different style. So some of them asked me guess estimates, some of them asked me simple small cases, some of them asked me previous work experience, some of them just wanted to have a general chat with me on what my personal objectives are. The end of an Apple interview is generally like a proper presentation. So they send me a case study with very, very less data, and then you have to kind of like, however and whatever, make estimates on how probably, the demand numbers would look for a newly launching Apple product, and you can be as creative as you want. And then you have to present that in front of 7-8 people who is essentially your team. So that was an Apple interview. And like I said, Kraft Heinz was more of a conversation about, okay, probably what has been the toughest experience of your life, what do you want to see ahead, etc. But what I'd like to say is how you contrast an undergrad interview with something from an MBA is that in an MBA, people really want to know, whether is this role something that is going to excite you? Is this team, are you going to be willing to work with? Is this geography okay for you? So they really want to get to know you to see whether you're a fit for the company or not. And in fact, there were 2 interviews in Kraft Heinz before they rolled out the offer where they just explained the role to me and they asked me like, are you sure you want to do this?
Correct.
So they're very they're very, very keen that you were there in the company for long run and you're a good cultural fit for the company. I think that's something very important, which most companies stressed on while I was at INSEAD.
Fair enough. I think because I mean they also don't want a situation to arise where your career growth or career sight gets cut over. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I think the last two really they're like kind of not very job oriented or so one of them is um, what is the single most important advice that you would give any MBA aspirant?
I think you should have a decent idea of which geography you want to work in. I think that is important. And second, probably which sectors you're targeting. I would not say just have like one sector you're focused on, but at least a few sectors which you want to go. Because, for example, INSEAD is great for consulting, but if you want to go for like a very specific marketing role, then probably INSEAD might not, directly help you get there. So have a clear idea on which, like, a few sectors that you're interested in and the geography you really want to work in, and then decide your B school according to that. I think second, once you're there, enjoy the process. Network, make friends. I think the classroom learning is also important because that adds a lot of value. So pay attention in classes and enjoy that entire process.
Okay, fine. And I think this is like leaving all classes, professors, recruitment, everything aside. I think what was like the funnest time for you, or what really made um, a bunch of experiences that made your INSEAD year memorable, like just not like class or and getting your dream job, none of that. Like apart from that, what was the real
I
highlight for you?
think definitely the peer group and the friends that I made. INSEAD also like is heavily like a lot of students travel, so all those vacations that we had and the weekends that we all went out on, um, the insane number of parties. Like I think INSEAD is crazy on partying, and I'm not really the party animal, so that was also like an experience. And you have crazy parties, like you have parties which are like nothing but clothes, so people like come wrapped around in newspapers and like and then you have there was this very interesting thing called I can't believe I'm forgetting the name, but it was a run dash. We used to call it dash. So we all dressed up like anything we wanted to, and early in the morning at 5 or 6 a.m. we ran through the streets of Fonty. So I was
Okay.
dressed as like a tribal girl, and then somebody came dressed as a birthday cake. Somebody was a tiger, and somebody was a prisoner. And then we actually did the entire class in these funny, fancy costumes, and we were drunk the whole day. So the the experiences at INSEAD are crazy, and it's a lot of fun getting to know so many different people, and also the kind of network you build, not only your classmates, but even like other alumni. I'm sure that if I write an email to an INSEAD alumni, 80 to 90% of the time I'll get a positive response, and somebody will take out the time to talk to me. So
Correct.
I think
It's
one
funny that
year
you
was
say that because one of my childhood friends right now is at Ponty, and he's like, I just spoke to him last weekend. He's like, dude, all the Europeans have gone back home. We are just a bunch of guys, so now we have mask parties. I was like, every weekend mask parties.
yeah.
So he's like, people find a reason to party here, come what may. Especially since I think Fontainebleau is slightly outside Paris. There's not much to do around.
Yeah,
So he's like,
yeah,
there's enough partying, enough happening here to keep
yeah,
ourselves entertained.
correct. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that kind of wraps up what we had in mind for you. But if there's anything else that you want to add that I've missed out, feel free to kind of highlight that. But apart from that, I think thank you so much for taking your time and doing this for us. But
It was nice talking to you, Dev, and I think you guys are doing a good job in like, getting these videos out to MBA aspirants so that, they have a better idea of what they're getting into.
Thank you. I think that's the purpose, and we'll take the trouble of if disturbing you. But if there's any more help that we need, we'll take the liberty of doing that.
Yeah, sure. Anytime. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. You take care. Wishing your family safe and well.
Yeah.
And thanks a lot again for doing it.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks.